Welcome to December and Merry Christmas. Hi, it's Martin Seville, and this is the first in a three-part short video series to help you embrace and enjoy the Christmas season. Now, I know some of you, if you're like me, you've been eating mince pies and watching Christmas movies for months, right? We love it. Others of you, I know, have been waiting until December because it's not Christmas until December. Well, good news, people. It's December. Merry Christmas. And there are others of you that Christmas is just one day. It's just one day. And look, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not here to influence that. I'm of the school of thinking that Christmas is a season. So if you're with me on that and you want to embrace that season, you want to enjoy that season, then this is for you. But there's always a but, right? There's always a but. Have you had past Christmases, or indeed you're sat here right now at the beginning of December looking at Christmas and going, I'm on a path that I don't want to be on. The kind of path where you're working too hard, too long, you're too busy, you're too distracted, you're getting stressed, you're getting overwhelmed, you're getting exhausted. You're missing out on the joy of the season. And at times, maybe you completely miss out on things because you're so busy. Things like the school nativity play or carol concert or going ice skating with your family or going to a Christmas market with your partner, and maybe you miss out on those completely because you're just not available because you're too busy. Or maybe you do rock up at these sorts of things and you do go and get the Christmas tree with the family and decorate the house and all those wonderful things, but you're kind of there physically, but you're not there mentally. You're not there emotionally because your mind's elsewhere, thinking about all the deadlines, the fact that you haven't done that computer-based annual training yet, the fact that you've got to send out that email or that communication or that project, or you're so immersed in all of that you're not present with your family enjoying those moments. Have you had times like that in past Christmases? Have you got an inkling that you're on the path to doing that again this year? If you are, that's why I'm doing these videos. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because Christmas is my favorite season. It's my favorite time of the year, bar none. I mean, I love summer, right? But Christmas is just, it's my favorite time of year. There is a feeling that, you know what they say about trying to carry that feeling of Christmas throughout the year. And you can be kind and generous and loving and all that kind of stuff. But when it gets to Christmas, there's just that feeling that you just can't replicate at any other time of year. And it is beautiful. But I always said there was a but, right? If you know my story, I spent 20 years in the corporate world, 20 years climbing the financial services corporate ladder. And yeah, did lots of great things in there. But it took a massive toll on my health. And it took a massive toll on my Christmases. And so many of my Christmases were compromised. Massively compromised. And we're talking about the run-up. And for me, it wasn't so much missing things. Because as a family, we always did these things. We got an annual tradition of going ice skating. We'd go and see Santa, and we'd do the carol concerts, and we'd go to get the tree together, and we decorate that. We do all of those logistical things, which should just be magical moments. But so many of those moments were just compromised because my head was in a completely different space. My family's there. It's this thing that we're doing is supposed to be, warming me up and just be, that spark of the season. But I just wasn't feeling it because my head was just too busy thinking about work. Let alone the fact that when you push that hard, by the time it gets to Christmas, you're totally and utterly exhausted and you can't enjoy the big day as much as you want to. I mean, crikey, I've had I've literally had Christmases where I've been that ill. You know, Christmas dinner is my favorite meal of the entire year, right? All the trimmings just, oh, I've had to take myself off to bed because I've been too ill. Not because I've got a cough or a cold, but because I am literally just driven myself into the ground with working too hard. And by the time it got to Christmas, I was too ill to even have a Christmas dinner. I've had Christmases where I've been videoing the family and literally nodded off during video. That you see it on the tape. It's the video's like this, and then it goes down like that because I just nodded off because I'm so exhausted. You can see how long ago it was because I've got a video camera. Although it's not rather than this, right? Everyone else got those video cameras, those tapes. That I've fallen asleep mid-conversation, and I was the one speaking because I've been so exhausted. So look, when it comes to wanting to embrace the season, when it comes to enjoy the season, it comes with all of that. That's why, I mean, I've done that for you, right? Don't do that. But the thing is, if we don't know how to go about things in a better way, if we don't know how to get back in control of our work and our time and make sure that we're doing the things that really light us up in the way that they're going to light us up, then we're always going to be navigating it and heading towards that kind of compromised Christmas. So that's where the passion lies. And so there's been a bit of context with this one. The videos are going to be shorter, but I hope that's really given you a flavor. So if that's you, if you don't want to replicate what I've just described, if you don't want to replicate your previous Christmas, I'm not saying they're all been bad, or indeed the whole, that it was totally and utterly bad. There's going to be good moments in every Christmas, right? But if you want to avoid the stuff that, and you regret, the regret stuff, right? The resentful stuff, the stuff you could have done better, that you should have got a better handle on things, that stuff. You want to avoid that? This is going to be for you. And we're going to have some fun doing this because 3 videos, and we're going to be inspired by my favorite story of all time, which I also believe to be the greatest coaching book ever written, A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge. So we're going to get into it now, because the important thing about this is I don't want this just to be, you're going to listen to this video and then off you go, right? And then you may or may not do something with it. I want you to use this as we're going to do some exercises right here, right now, in each video, so that you take back control of your Christmas, so you can embrace and enjoy Christmas, right? So that's the agreement. And you can pause me and then write stuff down, put it into place. So that's what we're going to do. And so what we're going to do with these 3, I thought it'd be fun to go past, present, and future. Right? You are going to be visited by the 3 ghosts. And today you're going to be visited by the ghost of Christmas past. And they're going to shine a light on your previous Christmases. And so what I want you to do is look at your past Christmases in 2 ways. In 2 ways. Firstly, we're going to shine a light. The ghost of Christmas past is going to shine a light on the stuff that went really well. The good stuff, the magical moments. That stuff. I want you to write down. You can write as many of them down as you want. Write at least 5 though, right? 5 things that, man, they just lit you up. And maybe it was the nativity play. Maybe it was the carol concert at the cathedral. Maybe it was going ice skating. Maybe it was that time with your partner going around a Christmas market with no expectation of buying, no pressure to buy, just lapping up the season. Maybe it was going and getting the biggest and most amazing Christmas tree, and you had to stick it on the roof of the car, and everyone was laughing, and it was brilliant. What were the magical moments? What were those special moments? What were those happy, joyous moments when you really embraced Christmas? Come up with at least 5. You can pause me right now, write down the 5. Because the chances are, if you don't do it now, you won't do it. I'll tell you that now. If you come across this and you're scrolling, you've already got a fair few number of minutes into this. So if you stop now and go, oh, I'll do that later, you won't, right? So if you're, and I guarantee that this, out of all the videos that you will see on social media today, this will be the one that could genuinely make a massive impact on your Christmas. And so if you want to embrace it, enjoy it, let's do that right here and now rather than delay it and then not do it at all. So at least 5 things, magic moments, great moments. And I want you to think about how they came about, because they would have come about because of 2 different things. They would either have been planned. So, hey, there's a carol concert on Friday and it starts at 7:30, right? And you've probably had that in the diary for a number of weeks. It's a plan. Scheduled it in. And the other way it may have happened is it was spontaneous. And you might say, well, Martin, I can't plan for that because it was spontaneous. Yeah, it's true. But there are 2 things that both of those have in common. You see, if you've planned something, it means you've given yourself the time and the space to firstly plan it, and secondly, to actually do it and enjoy it and embrace it. Not be distracted, but fully embrace it. So those things that went really well in the past, you set yourself up for success, as it were. You set yourself up to have a great magical Christmas experience. And the chances are you gave yourself the time and space to do that. Now, the same thing is about the spontaneous things. Because if you are so busy, just busy rushing and trying to get everything done, have you really got the time and the space to be spontaneous? Are you likely to take those spontaneous opportunities? Heck no. You're too busy. You're too distracted. There's too much, all this other stuff that you think is urgent and important that's getting in the way of doing any of that. So again, what you've done in those spontaneous moments in the past, you've given yourself the time and the space to actually do them, to take that spontaneous opportunity and to embrace it and enjoy it. Good food for thought, right? The ghost of Christmas past, we can really learn from this. It shines a light on the good stuff, but how that good stuff happened. Because this, maybe not all of those things, because maybe some of them were very specific. Maybe you were in a specific location, or it was because your children were at a certain age, or it's something that really was a one-off. But I guarantee there will be things that you go, wow, I'd like to duplicate that this year. Wouldn't it be great if we did that again this year? That's where we're getting to. Let's look into the past and go, what was the really cool stuff? What was the magical stuff? What's the stuff we want to bring into this Christmas season? And then we figure out, right, what have I got to do to make that happen? Be it something I schedule or be it something that's spontaneous. Either way, I'm going to have to give myself the time and space to be able to do those things. You see, without thinking about these things, life will just go on. And the chances are you're going to miss these things. So let the ghost of Christmas past help you. Shine a light on those good things. And let's try and replicate some of those. Here's the flip side. So if you haven't done that exercise yet, if you haven't figured out what those things were and how they came about, do that work now. Just jot it down. It doesn't have to be an opus, okay? You don't have to write a dissertation on it. Just do it really quick. The things that spring to mind. Because there's a second part to the Ghost of Christmas Past. As Scrooge found out. Yeah, a light was shone on some of the magical moments. But the light was also shone on the stuff that wasn't so great. The stuff that didn't quite go so well. And so I want you to come up with a list of, let's say, a minimum of 5 again. I don't want you to go writing loads of stuff. I don't want to depress you, okay? But maybe 3 to 5 things that from the past that just didn't go well. And I'm not talking about like just something unexpected, happened. Right? Again, not wishing to put a downer on Christmas, but You may have lost loved ones at Christmas, and we have done, okay? And there's not much you can do about that, okay? And as much as you might want to avoid that, it's kind of out of our control. So these are what we're looking at here is more of the things that, man, I wish I'd been more present in that magic moment. It would have been more magic if I had actually paid attention. Or I missed out on that because I was working until 11 o'clock at night. Oh, how could I have missed my son or daughter's nativity play? What was I thinking? Right? This kind of stuff. The stuff that you kind of regret. I know it can be a bit painful, because that regret, even that resentment, that emotion's still there. But this is part of the job of the Ghost of Christmas Past, to shine a light on that stuff so that we can learn from it. Because this is the stuff that we don't want to replicate. So just jot some of those things down that you do not want to replicate this season. And as it stands right now, you might be looking at Christmas going, if I keep going the way I'm going, then I will replicate that, because I am going to be distracted. I am going to be too busy. I am going to be working late. And I don't want that. So we need to really list those things out. And then also, again, do that kind of piece of work where, well, how did that happen? How did that come about? Why was that? Because what we want to do is we want to avoid that. So we want to deliberately and intentionally look at it and go, right, that happened and it happened because of this. So how am I going to avoid that this year? What have I got to do? And it probably, again, comes down to the time and space. Time and space to plan this stuff out, to think about this stuff, to actively avoid stuff that we've done in the past that did not serve us and did not serve our family's Christmas. This, my friends, is the Ghost of Christmas Past, and it can teach us an awful lot. So, look at the good stuff and how that came about. What do you want to replicate this year? And then also look at the stuff that, well, didn't go so well. How did that come about? And how are you going to avoid it this year? The Ghost of Christmas Past gives us this learning. It gives us this insight, ready for your next visitor. So do this piece of work. I hope you got value from this. If you're deliberate and intentional about this stuff, then we can really take control of things and help you embrace and enjoy this whole Christmas season, as well as the big day itself. So, thank you for joining me, and join me in the next video where you can have another visitor, the holly jolly Ghost of Christmas Present. See you in the next video.